Hey everybody, I'm APH and welcome to Open the Gates. Now, huge shout out to the dev for sending over a copy of the game. A link to the Steam page will be down in the description. Now, this game should be going live roughly 2 to 3 days after this video goes live. For today, we are going to be going through the campaign. I did take a look at it just kind of get my foot in the door and kind of, figure out how to play. And we're going to be starting from the beginning. So to get started, we have ourselves a little building here, and this is where all of our construction comes from. From here, we need a few things. Mostly, first we need a house to have a couple of people, and then we need, as soon as that house builds, we need some industry in order to back our town. Now, the premise of this game is we're trying to reclaim a nation, so we're going to go ahead and place wood there. We're going to place stone close to stone, so let's go ahead and plop that right there, and then a farm. Let's go ahead and throw that guy right at the back. We're going to need more people than the 11 citizens we have, so let's go ahead and grab another house and throw it right there. And now that these are built, what we can do is add a couple of people into them. You're going to see that the numbers down here are filling in, and it's wood, stone, and food is our three main type of economics. After that, we do have money, and that's what we're going to use to get our troops. And as long as our food is kind of in the good, we should be kind of set here. So let's go ahead and kick this up, get a lot of food, and let's go ahead and throw another. Let's hit continue. Let's throw another house right here. It looks like now we can build medium houses, which is what I think I just built. And then for military, we have to have a treasury. So we just have to have enough stone in order to build that. All right, so we've got enough stone. So we're going to go ahead and throw in our treasury. This will give us a place to sell all of our goods, as well as it will give us a place for taxation. Now, once this gets built, we'll kind of click on the UI to kind of see it. And so right now, what we can do is we can, as soon as the gesture kind of disappears, we can sell or we can buy. So anything that we have a lot of, we could sell. Anything that we're low on, we can buy. The other option that we have is, let's go ahead and click off of this building, is we can set our taxes either to mild, normal, or we can set them to high. For right now, if we click on this little icon on the bottom right, you can see that everybody's happy. So let's go ahead and move it up to normal. This will get us a lot of money, and then we need to start on our military. And the first thing that we need is a barracks. After that, we need an archery. After that, what we could do is we can build a couple of walls, and then once we get them built, I don't remember if it's only too high. So as soon as we get that, we can throw a tower up on top, and now we should be able to build some units now, and we have room for 7. So let's go ahead and queue up a couple of each. We'll go with 4 and 3 as soon as we get a little bit more money, and then we'll go ahead and throw another house right there to get a little bit better. And now for the archers, what we can do is we can tell them to move up onto the tower. If we wanted to move them to the front line, we can just kind of highlight all of them and kind of send them forward. And you can see in 53 seconds, we're going to get our next attack. So this game is kind of a wave tower defense game. We've got room for another 13 people. And I do want to continue. This exit button is in a weird spot for me. I keep wanting to click this as the build. And usually I don't give feedback on early access games. I do think I'm going to give this on this. I would like to see this build move down here is what I'd personally like to see. And then the exit maybe moved up here. Let's get another medium house, and then that will get us a little bit more gold. And we'll move these guys up a little bit further. And then we need some more units. So we're just going to kind of spam out whatever we can build. And hopefully this is enough to get this first wave. So let's go ahead and grab them and send them forward. And what I'll do is I want to get the archers to the back. So we'll go ahead and just select all of the archers, and we'll go ahead and select all of the soldiers, send them up there. And it looks like we are getting a little bit of money, so I'm just going to keep hiring. Units have special abilities. So if we hire them, you can see that they have arrow volley. Now, the way you can access this is you can either click on the icon or you can hit the space bar. The soldiers, it is charge, and for the archers, it is arrow volley. So we're just going to kind of move these guys up a little bit further. Let's go ahead and grab our archers and get them up here with it. And if we look, we've got an army kind of coming up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for them to get really close, and then we're going to hit them with an arrow volley. Now, in order to expand our town even further, we're going to need an outpost. So I'm going to go ahead and throw an outpost right there, and let's go ahead and hit the arrow volley. And you can see it just kind of knocks them down. So that's kind of real good there. We don't need another treasury. And my first initial thought was I needed to build another one, but we don't. And we do have the option to delete, which is something that is useful if you wanted to replace something like a small house with a medium house or a large house down the road. Let's go ahead and hire up a few more people because we want to make a pretty big push now. We're just gonna probably build another farm pretty quick here in order to kind of keep our food in the good. Food and money is our big concern. Let's go ahead and move these guys forward. We're gonna go ahead and do that next with an industry. Let's go ahead and get not another lumber mill, another farm right there. And we are good with stone and we're good with wood. So what we can do now is we're gonna be using less. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock down the wood and the stone pretty much just to 2. That will kind of back whatever we build from here on out, but it will kind of keep us set. Let's go ahead and push these guys forward. Let's build another house right here and let's build one more. That will give us a lot of houses. Move these guys forward and then we're just going to keep hiring. Let's go ahead and hire up some more farmers in there and we're just going to keep moving forward. Now what we can do is let's grab the arrow guys. Let's go ahead and start attacking the walls with the archers. Let's try that again. It's going to draw everybody forward and then we can just kind of do this and then we'll hit the arrow volley, knock them down really quick, and then we'll start on the archers over here. They require to down the wall first. Thankfully, the archers can keep firing, and we're just going to take down all these walls. Let's go ahead and expand a little bit further. We've got a little bit more economics, so let's go ahead and spend that on more troops. And then for the houses, let's go ahead and drop another house there. Let's drop another outpost here because we want to keep expanding as we kind of move forward. And let's go ahead and grab all of our troops in our army, and then we'll make the next major push forward. So those guys were shooting and taking out that tower for me. Let's go ahead and do that attack, and then we'll grab these guys as they come forward, and we're just gonna move them right up with our main group here. Now we do have a tower. This part of the game, the best way to take out those towers is with a big volley from the archers. In the later part of the game, there is some other units that we can use. We'll probably do one more scenario kind of in today's, and then we'll do some more as it gets closer to release. Let's go ahead and grab just the archers and let's take out this little barricade first. Now we can build these barricades right now. So if we wanted, we could throw one down and that will keep the units from progressing any further until they down that. But I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. So let's go ahead and attack this. And what we're going to do is just going to hit the charge, and then we're going to hit the arrow volley, and this should, yeah, look at that, it just tears it down. So now we can start sieging his town. So this scenario is kind of just a tutorial, but I mean we're pretty close to, oh look at that, he's got a pretty good army there. Let's go ahead and hire up a few more units just in case. What we'll do is we're going to wait for volley to be ready, and it looks like it's ready. So let's, yeah, look at that, it just mows them over. So this should be pretty much a wash at this point in time, and yeah, we'll just take out these last couple of units and then we'll just kind of wash it. Let's go grab all of the rest of the units over here. So feeble is the first kind of combatant that we have to deal with. I haven't got past feeble yet. I've only played for a couple hours. Let's draw these guys back a little bit. Then as soon as our units get forward here, we'll do another big siege on this. But he doesn't have very much left. So his storyline is he's growing some flour, trying to get himself big and strong, and it's kind of going awry. Let's go ahead and charge, and then we'll do the arrow volley. And it just knocks it down. A big archery group like that, and it makes short work of groups like this. Let's go ahead and get these on the archers. Let's get these guys on the construction tower there. This is pretty much a wash, because once we get that down, we'll go ahead and send them on to this. This is a granary. This is available, I believe, in the next mission. But they've got, Feeble's already got access to them. He's just got his barracks in his lumber yard. Laughter's archery. So let's go ahead and get them on there, and then we'll get our win conditions. So looks like about a 12-minute play. I think the first time that I tried it, I think it took me about 20 25 minutes. Kill to death ratio is 8.58. It's pretty good. Total runtime 11 minutes 40 seconds. Sieges 1, 2. I think on my first attempt, I think I had sieges 1, 3, and then the structures destroyed was pretty much about the same. That's pretty, seems like it's about right. Let's go ahead and hit next. So the next one is the flower. Now we do get a couple of extra things in this one, but it's pretty much going to start out the same thing. So we've got fires, we've got crossbows now, and then we've got the granary, a bridge, but we're going to pretty much start this pretty much the same way. We're going to throw a house there. We've got stone right here. So as soon as that house builds, we're going to go ahead and throw a granary next to the stone, and then we're going to throw a lumber camp. I should have put the house over here because I'd like the lumber camp over there. Maybe we throw the lumber camp over here, and then we'll throw the farm kind of in between. We'll go ahead and throw a couple more houses kind of in the back here. Let's go ahead and add a couple extra people to our farm. We'll do another couple in there and a couple more in there. I guess I added them into the lumber mill thinking it was the farm, but that's fine. In the beginning, you pretty much need the economics. Now, what's new here is we have a granary and we can set the ration. So right now it's set to normal, but we can set it to high and it will give them a little extra food and give them a little bit of happiness. And you can kind of see that in here. Or we could kind of decrease it to low and you'll see that eventually these will kind of shift. Right now, I do want it to high because I want them to be happy. And what we're going to need is a couple of wells in order to make sure if we get fire, if we'll be able to take care of them. And then after that, we're going to need to start getting bridges kind of set in order to get into taxation and move across the river up here. All right, so we have enough stone. Let's go ahead and throw the granary right there. The granary. Let's go ahead and throw the treasury right there. Let's go ahead and get a well going next to that. We still have a couple of citizens, which means we're going to need a house and we're going to have to wait until we get across the river. I was hoping we could place a small one right there, but we can't. We just need 400 wood. So as soon as it ticks, we should be able to do that. Then we just need a little bit more wood. I did fill up all of the buildings pretty full, so it's just kind of waiting on that. And since we have this set to high rations, I'm going to go ahead and set our taxation to normal. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and get a couple of large houses over here kind of as we go into our barracks. Now for units, now we have the knight, an archer, and a crossbow. And what I was noticing is the crossbow is a little cheaper than the archer, but the downside is they have a little less HP and a little bit shorter range. Personally, I think they should be on par. I think they should both be 50 coins. I kind of get where the dev is coming from. We're going to go ahead and get some knights to start defending. Let's go ahead and throw our archery right there, and then we're going to need an outpost in order to kind of push forward. Let's get a well over here, and we don't have a whole lot of room, so I think we're going to need a lot of archers to get started here. So we just got to get a little bit of money to kind of get all of this situated. And now what we might want to do is start replacing some of the small houses with large houses in order to kind of move forward that way. So I'm going to go ahead and delete out the 2 regular houses, throw the large or the medium houses in there. Should give us more citizens. We'll throw another one. Oh, it's too far from the outpost. Let's go ahead and throw an outpost there. And our food is dropping now, so we're going to have to probably lower the rations, and then we're going to have to build another granary over here soon. Let's start moving everybody to the front line, and let's start getting a few more archers. And what I might want to do now is let's go ahead and lower down the stone. We'll keep it at 2, and the wood is okay, but I'm going to go ahead and knock it down halfway. And then as we make our first big push past this tower, we're going to get another farm over here. Let's go ahead and get these guys moved forward, and let's go ahead and hire up a few more. Now what I might do is go ahead and sell a couple of the stone just to get us a little bit of money in order to hire up a few more archers, because they're going to be the bulk of our damage for this first attack. And then once we kind of, as I said, once we move forward, we're going to go ahead and start expanding our farm. And these guys are peeking forward, so I'm going to go ahead and push a little bit to entice them. And like that, big volley, and it took out most of them. Let's get these guys moved forward. And then we did build the outpost there, but it looks like we need another well over here. So we'll drop a well right there so they can get that put out. And I want to few more people in order to kind of make the push on this tower. So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and set up our next unit, which is our crossbow. Nice thing about these is even though they take a lot of food, they've got explosive bolts. So if we charge with the soldiers, the knights, what they can do is they can come right behind, hit the explosive bolts, and hopefully blow up the towers. And maybe this is enough. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's grab just the archers and let's take out this little barricade since it's out of the range of that. Does say, oh yeah, we've got a big unit there coming. So let's pull these guys back just a little bit. Let's go ahead and put up a barricade there. And this will kind of give us a little bit of protection. I do mean a little bit of protection against this. Thankfully, the arrow volley's ready. And we also have the explosive bolts ready. We do have a little bit of food now. So let's go ahead and hire up a few extra of the crossbows. Yeah, they just mow down the units. So we're just going to push forward just like that. The next siege is pretty much taken care of. And now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and get this tower next as soon as everything kind of recharges there. Go ahead and keep hiring up as much as we can. Let's grab these guys. Let's get them going. We're going to hit the arrow volley. And then as soon as they get there, we're going to go ahead and hit the explosive bolts. Yeah, look at that. They just tear it down. With this, let's go ahead and get our next large house right there. And then with the industry, let's get a farm right there as we kind of push forward. So we'll go ahead and attack them. And now that we've got our extra people, as soon as this farm gets active, we're going to go ahead and add more in there. There we go. And now we're getting food again. So we're going to go ahead and push on the barracks right here. Let's do a big attack on this one unit here. And then we're going to do attack on there. Let's do arrow volley. Yeah, love that. Love that animation and everything. It actually makes you feel like a big attack. Let's get this down. We do need some knights now in order to kind of back our attack there. Thankfully, we're kind of in a good spot. Let's go ahead and throw another house here. Let's get a well in there. We're good on stone. We're good on wood. So we're kind of really in a good shape here. Let's go ahead and throw another house here. And this should get us a lot of money. And then food is, I think, the last thing that we really need. So let's go ahead and push food a little bit further. Let's move these guys to the front line. And we've got a pretty good unit here. So let's get them moved up to the front line, and then I just want to keep spamming out our units. So we're probably going to use a good chunk of range now. So I'm just going to kind of alternate through the remainder of these. Give it just a second to get all assembled, and then we'll move them to the front line. Let's go ahead and bump this maxed out. That should ensure that we pretty much have food and gold anytime we need to hire anybody. So we'll go ahead and move them to the front line. We've got room for 4 more. So let's go ahead and hire up. Let's do 2 and then 1 and 2 there. There is a ramp here. Now, this is kind of the area where, oh, it will let me build in some of these areas. A lot of times it will tell you there's a slope and it will tell you can't build there. So we're just waiting on these guys. Let's go ahead and grab the archers and let's start taking out the barricades with the archers. Since we want to do that at range, we can kind of get everybody pulled together. And look at this. We've got a big army there. So let's get a barricade there. And then we're going to move them behind the tower. That way we can do a big push on there. And look at that. They've got some catapults there. We're just going to do a big attack. And it took out the majority of them. So we do want to send our soldiers forward. And that quickly, the catapults took out the farms. That siege is down. So we're going to go ahead and rebuild our farm there. I think we have enough that we can start pushing forward. So I'm just going to grab the archers, get them sent forward for military. Let's go ahead and grab a few more archers. I think we're good on the town, maybe another house. That way we can kind of push our army even further. Let's move these guys up to the line. We'll go ahead and hire up a few extra in the farm, and then it leaves us 7 for units. So let's go ahead and add a few more explosive and a few more knights, since that will really get us in a good shape to make the next huge push. Now, I don't remember if I can get this group without this one. It looks like I can. So I think what we're going to do is as soon as that one downs, I think we're going to go ahead and hit the charge. We're going to charge this one. And then as soon as this tower's down, we're going to fall back in order to repair. Let's do it. And I want to charge charge to get them kind of on the front line. And let's get these guys up here. We'll go ahead and hit our explosive charges, and then we'll go ahead and pull back. These guys are getting ready to attack, so I'm hoping that we get pulled back far enough. So now we just got to replenish our ranks a little bit. And it looks like we lost all of our crossbowmen there, so we'll go with 14 extra crossbows, and then for knights we'll just do the remainder in somewhere around 10, what I'm thinking. We'll give it a second to kind of see where it plays out. It's a little bit unfortunate that we lost most of our units there, but I guess that is the way of war. So let's go ahead and add a couple more here. Let's add a couple more archers in there, and then we'll just give this a quick second to get filled, and we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, so we've got 2 minutes to the next wave, so we've got a little bit of time here. But what I want to make sure of is we kind of move forward. I want to make sure there's a barricade here just in case, because that was pretty quick that they tore that down. Let's get another outpost over here. We can build another barricade a little bit past that. Our units are ready, so we're going to go ahead and make our next big push. And what we'll do is we're just going to send the soldiers first, and then we'll send everybody else. And as soon as they get within range, I'm going to go ahead and do explosive bolts in the volley. And down that goes. I love how it shoots everybody kind of like they're pawns on a chessboard. Cracks me up. So we'll get these guys down, and then once these guys are down, then we should be pretty well set to down the rest of this. He does have a pretty good group here of what looks like knights. So we're going to keep everybody together, and it looks like we lost the majority of our knights. So we're just going to go ahead and hire up a bunch. We'll do, I don't know, we'll do 20, and then the rest will be crossbowmen. And then for the archers, let's go ahead and get this taken out. And what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and do an arrow volley. Just knock it down real quick. That will get that recharging. And then as soon as this group is ready to start moving, I'm hoping that the arrow volley is ready. So let's go ahead and grab our troops back here. Let's get these guys moved forward. The explosive bolts are ready, so we're just waiting on the arrow volley to be ready and for our troops to be moved forward. Let's grab any stragglers and let's move them forward. And what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and move the few remaining knights to the front. We only have 2, so this could be rough, but at least the arrow volley and the explosive bolts are ready. So he's going to do his assault pretty quick here, and what we'll do is we'll slowly kind of push forward, because I'd like, oh man, that's a little bit bigger than what I thought it was, but that's okay, because as soon as they start firing, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the arrow volley. All right, there we go. And just like that, we mow down a good chunk of them. Love the animation on the explosives. I know like a lot of people are into realistic graphics, but the graphics on this just cracked me up. So we're just going to go ahead and make a big push on the archers over here. And I think this is pretty well good game, because they've only got a few extra units there. We'll go ahead and get our crossbowmen taking out that building. Let's get our archers taking out the outpost and the soldiers. Let's get the one straggler there, and let's get them taking out that. And then we'll just kind of start pushing forward slowly. That's the game, guys. So we'll kind of see the winning screen in just a little bit of a second here. Now, what I'm seeing is as the game goes on, more and more things unlock. Really, I don't have very many critiques for this game. I think it's very well placed. I think, you know, it's got its quirkiness in its humor that I think is very subtle and very actually, you know, nice in the way that it's done. I think for a side scroller kind of rogue-like in its kind of methodology with the wave base, I think this is a solid game. I have high hopes for it. So in total, I mean, we did 2 rounds and we did it in 32 minutes in total from start to finish. So I mean, this is a game where you can come home from work or come home from school, you can sit down, you can play around, and after you play around, you can go on to the next thing. And I think that this has a lot of potential. Thank you guys for joining. If you liked what you saw, consider hitting that like button down below, consider leaving a comment, or consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more early access games like this. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.